Hello everyone, Ryan here with Product Impressions. I'm excited today because I got what I anticipate will be the last part of my sit, stand, desk, work at home situation here. It's been really nice. I can, crank it up and down, stand, sit, but I've noticed that due to the little fitness trackers and things like that, there have been days where I have moved less than 1,000 steps in a given day, which is really not good. And you might be able to see out the window behind me that it is pretty white out there because it's been snowing lately. So I decided to try and get a little bit more activity by using what's called a walking pad. It's basically like a really flat treadmill that doesn't have any handbars or anything on there. It is made to go underneath standing desks. So let's pop this thing open. All right, let's go ahead and open this up. All right, inside the box, another box. User manual on top. And here we have the treadmill. Inside that little box, we've got a power cable, some lubricant for the machinery, hex wrench for adjustments, and a remote control to adjust the speed. All right, as you can see, this is the C2 model, which actually folds. And I don't have quite enough room here with the table there, but you can see it folds right out. From what I understand, it's supposed to be pretty simple. Just plug it in, turn it on, make any adjustments to the placement of the band if you need to. So let's get it set up. All right, when it comes to setting up, you simply roll it into place where you plan on using it. It can stick on the edge of carpets, apparently. Unfold. And plug it in. And there is also a power switch on here that you need to hit to make sure that it turns on. Once that's all set up, you have two different options. There is a manual mode, which is indicated by the orange light here, and there's an automatic mode, which is an A on here that will light up if you press the bottom button on the little remote. The remote is very straightforward. It's just a matter of the center button is start and stop, plus sign to go faster, minus sign to go slower. And this final button will switch between automatic and manual modes. Personally, I have found that the only way to actually use this is manual. The way that the automatic works is you're supposed to be able to step on the front up towards the display up here, and it will accelerate. If you're in the middle, it will stay going about the same speed, and if you fall to the back, it'll start slowing down. I don't know if I just have too long of a stride for it to work or whatever the case may be, but basically when I've tried to use it in automatic mode, either I'm up here and it is accelerating until it reaches its max speed of about 6 kilometers an hour, which is fine if you want to go for a jog, but definitely not if it's underneath a desk. And if I move anywhere away from constant acceleration, it just comes to a complete stop. So I don't find automatic to actually be usable. I do find manual to be excellent, and as I said, it's really just a matter of if you press the middle button, 3, 2, 1, count down for it to start, and there it goes. It starts automatically at 2 kilometers an hour, and you can adjust the different things that are shown on the display. Personally, I have it set up to show the amount of time I've been on it, the number of steps that I take, and the speed that it goes. You can also have it show an approximate distance that you have traveled. One thing to note with this is everything is listed in kilometers. So you cannot actually switch it to miles, even if you wanted to. The app only has kilometers, no option for miles. So I personally don't use kilometers, so I find that to be a useless point on the display, so you can take that off. That is the one nice thing about the app. Otherwise, the app is not great. It crashes a lot. You can control the speed and everything through it when it is working, if you happen to not have the remote. do everything you can not to lose the remote. The app is not really worth anything. The downside is you have to use the app in order to access the full speed and features on here. If you don't use the app, it will lock at, I believe it is just the 2 kilometers an hour that it will start at. You're not going to go any faster than that. So if that's fine with you, you don't need to use the app. I highly recommend using the app, unlock the full features. It basically is just a matter of going through a tutorial. I was going to say running through a tutorial, but you're not going to be running on this thing really. Even at 6 kilometers an hour, it's a light jog. In any case, after you spend a few minutes going through the features and moving the speed up and down, then it unlocks everything. Overall, I would say that this is absolutely fantastic. It fits perfectly underneath the desk. Without having hand railings on here, you can set it up pretty much wherever. I've even found that I can put my desk up into a full standing position, slide the chair underneath it, and still be able to use this without stepping on the front here while I'm walking. A couple other points of consideration with this. The speed, it is fairly quiet. I was just running it, so hopefully you maybe heard a little bit of something, but not too much. The speed generally is, or the volume is pretty quiet. I don't know if it is muffled at all by being on a low pile carpet. I have seen in other reviews that a high pile carpet will actually cause more noise because the belt runs over the top, and you can see it underneath here as well. It is just exposed. A lot of times treadmills have an enclosed bottom. This does not. So if you have a high pile carpet or rug, running this is going to wear that down. You're going to show a lot of wear on your carpet. So this is very low pile, and I wouldn't recommend going on anything other than a very low pile carpet. Otherwise, you're probably going to need to get a mat to put down on this. I have used this while working. I have noticed that whether or not this is going to be a distraction to others while on a phone call or something like that highly depends on how you're on that phone call. We do all of our meetings online, and so I've found that if I use a dedicated headset that was provided by my office with a little microphone that comes out in front of your mouth, then no one else is able to hear it. It's been perfectly fine. If I'm using my Sony headphones, the 1000 WHX4, whatever, they're high-end noise-canceling headphones. The microphones on those headphones will pick up the noise of this very well. So if you're planning on using Bluetooth headphones or something like that, this is probably not a good option for you, at least while you're on calls for work. If you're going to use a dedicated headset that plugs into your computer, those are fairly noise isolating, and so you can get away with walking on this during a phone call without actually interrupting anyone. The other point that I would like to make on this, I got this a little over a week ago, and I started using it way more than I should. I usually walk 1 or 2 miles a day, just going out and walking around. Even on lower speeds though, while I was using this, most of the day while I was working, within a few days I racked up close to 30 miles. That is way more than I am accustomed to walking, and even though it doesn't feel like much at the time, it really wears you down. So as with any normal exercise routine, start off a little bit more slowly. I would highly suggest not doing 30 miles in 4 days. That is probably going to be more than you're accustomed to, so ease into it, do a couple of miles a day during the first week, and then slowly step up from there. If you have any questions about this, please feel free to leave them in the comments. I'll do my best to answer anything that you want. Overall, I'm very happy with this. I haven't had to do any maintenance, no adjusting of the placement of the tread or anything like that. It worked perfectly fine out of the box. They do provide some oil for oiling this tread so that it will glide over the base very easily, but the recommendations for that is no different than any other treadmill. Every 3 months or so, maybe you'll put some on there. But yeah, I'm very happy with this. This may actually be the best aspect of having a sit-stand desk as my workstation here at home. So even though you can fold this up and roll it, I'm going to turn this off, unplug, and fold this up so you can see. All right. this is meant to be rolled, but there is no handle. It is just a fairly flexible piece of plastic. So I'm not sure how the durability of this is going to be, but all in all, it works if you're not rolling it very far. Another point that I should have made also, this is a very shiny black material. If you want something that's not going to show fingerprints incredibly easily, I would say go with a lighter color. White probably isn't going to show fingerprints the way that a shiny black surface does. Very smooth, very shiny, shows every mark. So probably if you have the option, I would go for a lighter color. Otherwise, you're going to be seeing marks on this all the time, particularly because you have to touch it to roll it and set it up and all of that. So yeah, if I think of anything else, I will have to do some re-editing on the video. But otherwise, like, share, subscribe. I'll see you next time.